Calaroga Shark Media.
Hi there, I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. I found this one on the internet. This guy said that the other night after the Knicks game, he went by the Comedy Cellar. User Vodka Mike 3 said, well, I must have hit the lottery. Caught the 11:30 Comedy Cellar show. Honestly, not even sold out. Place was kind of dead due to the Knicks game. Well, about 4 comedians in, the host calls up Chris Rock. The place goes wild, in all honesty. Chris had the place electrified with just his presence. He then proceeded to bomb, recovered the last 5. Then Dave Chappelle emerged from the stairwell. Place goes wild. He lights a smoke, grabs a drink, hits us with just shy of 2 hours of comedy, just kind of riffing and talking crap. He brings up a drunk but funny Shane Gillis for the last 20. They totally slayed together. Basically, the 3 were at the Knicks game and just swung in and dropped an impromptu set. I still can't believe this happened. That is the only mention I have seen of that, but if that did happen, that's pretty cool. In the Facebook group, which is Daily Comedy News Podcast Group, Dylan shared a thread. Some dude who's not Dylan made a video, the top 25 stand-ups of the 2000s. Now, luckily, Dylan summarized the list for me, so I don't have to watch the video. I'm going to react before I even look at the list. I would say here in June of 2026, off the top of my head, unresearched, just reacting, I'd have to say number 1, Dave Chappelle, number 2, Louis CK, despite all the controversy, and 3, Dane Cook, who has become underrated and everybody forgets what Dane Cook did during the aughts. Then there's another tier with like Mulaney and Gaffigan's probably in there. But let's see what this list is, and I will react to it cold. Dylan's recap in the Facebook group, Daily Comedy News Podcast Group, tells us 25, Dane Cook. All right, seems low. 24, Jim Jeffries. I'd have to see who else is on the list before I react. 23, Gary Goldman. 22, Jim Norton. 21, Rory Scovel. 20, Jesselnick. 19, Cat Williams. 18, Shane. 17, Tosh. 16, Bamford. 15, Nate. 14, Mitch Hedberg. If you listen to the show, you know how much I love Mitch. The problem is there's just not the body of work. 13, Gaffigan. 12, Bo Burnham. That's crazy talk. 11, Doug Stanhope. Love Doug, but that seems too high. I'm going to have to go back and react. 10, Greg Giraldo. 9, Patrice O'Neill. As I've said before, I never enjoyed the man's company. I'm biased. I get that people like he's funny. Never liked being in a room with that dude. 8, John Mulaney. 7, Brian Regan. That seems high. 6, Attell. Oh, yeah, Attell. Yeah, yeah, good call. 5, Colin Quinn. That is absurd. 4, Bill Burr. Oh, yeah. I've been thinking about Bill Burr lately. Boy, out of everybody who did Riyadh, I think Bill Burr totally goofed up his brand. Like, you don't hear about Burr now, and when you do, everybody kind of eye-rolls him. I really think he screwed up. 3, Chappelle. 2, Norm Macdonald. No. And number 1, Louis CK. So what did I say? I said Chappelle, CK, and Dane. All right, let me look at this. Let's go in the other direction. CK, you could argue it, but I'll put Chappelle there. Norm, that's way too high. Colin Quinn is insanity at 5. Brian Regan is too high at 7. Mulaney's probably about right. Greg Giraldo at 10 is crazy talk. 12, Bo Burnham is crazy talk. Nate Bargatze at 15. If we're going to put Nate on the list, are we going to put Sebastian Maniscalco on the list? Because they're kind of like doing the same thing tour-wise, and I don't think either one of them is particularly groundbreaking. Anyway, if my memory suits me, I did some version of this list around the end of the year, so you can go back in the feed and look at that. Johnny Mac, are you serving us leftovers today? No. Why do you ask? Yeah, if you've been listening, it's been slow lately. Here's some fun facts from David Cross. David Cross fun facts via Us Weekly. David Cross says, I used to be a night owl up until about 9 years ago. Now I'm a morning person. My 9-year-old daughter is happy to explain why. Yes, in my friend group, I had children a little bit earlier than the others. And, you have a baby. If you've raised children, you understand. You need to sleep. And my friends would be like, why can't you come out on Friday night? Are you whipped? And I'm like, no. You don't understand. I can go out. What I can't do is go out and then the next morning be like, oh, sorry, I know you had the baby all night because I went out and you still have the baby because I'm hungover. You can't do that. So I understand, David Cross. We also learned that his go-to dish that is universally recognized as superior in every way is his chili. His family requests it at least once every couple weeks, and he has to make extra for all the neighbors. Interesting. His secret, completely useless talent is that David Cross can tell you the temperature within 1 degree. Like if we were outside and you said, how hot do you think it is? I'd go, about 71 degrees, and I'd be right. There are a lot of famous people in my phone list, but the most famous is probably Bill Odenkirk, it says. I assume he's kidding or the transcription messed up. I would have to guess in my phone, it's Jimmy Fallon would probably be it. Stephen Van Zandt. Fallon's more well-known than Van Zandt, right? Humble brag. I'd have to go through every now and then. I'll like, so my business partner's name is Mark, and I'll be scrolling down and I'll type in Mark, and I almost accidentally text Marc Maron, things like that. David Cross says, I don't get starstruck a whole lot, but I do get sports starstruck. I got to hang out with for like an hour and a half and drink with Chipper Jones. That's the old Braves player that us Mets fans don't like. And that was unforgettable, an absolute legend. We were just chilling and shooting the stuff, and I will never forget it. For me, now this goes back way. I may have told the story. It's one of my favorite stories to tell, so I'm going to tell it again. It's like 7:30 in the morning. I'm working at WOR Radio. It's the early 90s. I'm walking down the hallway on my way to produce the show at 8 o'clock. And I look up, and there's a man. And the man can see the look on my face. Then I'm like, what? And the man sticks out his hand. He goes, hi, Charlton Heston. I will never forget that moment, just because I was like, doop-de-doop-de-doop. Oh, wait, that's Charlton Heston. Hi, Charlton Heston. That was my time I met Charlton Heston. I enjoy his movies, enjoy his work, and I enjoyed the one time I met him. I tell you, I've been keeping this list of celebrities I've met over the years. At some point, I'll read it to you. Not to flex, just to, I don't know, filler one day, but not today. Cross says his celebrity crush growing up was Nastassja Kinski. That poster of her with the snake, I mean, come on. What's left on David Cross's bucket list? He says, let's see, I hiked the Inca Trail and dove to the Blue Hole in Belize a couple years ago, so I'm going to say space, maybe? I've been struggling with that since I went to Antarctica a year and a half ago. Like, I don't know what to do now because I've been very, very fortunate. And please understand as I go into this wrap, I'm very thankful for all the things I've had, and I'm aware that I've been able to do some things. But I've been to Iceland and Alaska and Australia, and like, I don't know, maybe I kind of want to go to Japan. Seems to be my new kick. We'll see. I also, and I'm not doing a bit, was thinking about there's a way you can climb Kilimanjaro, but it's not like a mountain climb. It's like the long way up. You walk, and like it's not just like a stroll. You got to put some effort into it and train. But I kind of have that on my list too. I feel like, so I'm 56. I feel like I need another big thing. Like I was driving to Antarctica for years, and I don't know. I need a thing. If you're new, this isn't how the show normally goes. I don't normally do all these sidebars, but it's a quiet Monday. Leftovers from Variety. Marc Maron talked about his pilot for Marc Maron Project back in 1995. It was a talk show pilot for Comedy Central. That space eventually was taken by The Daily Show. Maron said at that time, HBO had a piece on Comedy Central, and HBO Downtown produced a show that used to do for them short attention span theater. They wanted to do a talk show pilot, and because I was sort of there and I wanted to try it, we did a pilot. I felt like we did 2 episodes of the Marc Maron Project. My guess was Dave Chappelle on one of them. He must have been a kid then. What does Maron think about the current talk show format? I assume they're hinting at Colbert here. He says, I'm sad that the format can't live in this world we live in, but I don't think they're at fault. I think ultimately as individuals, you better hold on to that part of your brain that can take in long-form content, or else you're just going to have a complete mind meld with the tech forces that are guiding your brain in life, and you won't really have much of an identity or method of choice anymore. I feel bad that the business is changing, but I don't know what you do about it. Maron was also on Kara Swisher's podcast, and he got a little political. Maron said, when comics get duped into this idea that because they can't say tranny or worse words, that somehow or another that's the left infringing on their freedom of speech. It's so shallow and stupid, and because they fought for it, they just become part of the party line of dismantling liberal democracy. It was never a freedom of speech issue. It was never a constitutional issue. You could say whatever you want, and you're just going to have to shoulder the burden of the consequences. Ultimately what happened, because they were used to dismantle the entire infrastructure of DEI and everything else, and now they don't have to shoulder anything, because now they can say those words with impunity, and the left has no traction to counter it because we're living in 2 separate worlds. Maron said, I hold them responsible for being the front line to usher in Trump's second era. Send your letters to Marc Maron via Kara Swisher. Taylor Tomlinson has an announcement. Listen to this.
Hi, you guys. I have something really exciting to share with you. I wrote a book. I wrote a whole book. Can you believe it? I can't. It's called Actually Nevermind. It comes out September 22nd. It's a collection of essays about everything I've changed my mind about over the years, which is literally everything. Marriage, sex, mental health, coming out, God. It's my thoughts and feelings on all of it. I definitely overshared. Try not to think about that too hard or I'll panic. I read the audiobook if you're into that. And you can pre-order it now at the link in my bio. So please go do that.
Boy, are you excited? I can't wait. Actually, Nevermind will come out September 22nd of this year. The Taylor Tomlinson book. Yeah. You know what else I'm really excited about? Listen to this. I had to check to make sure this is real. Here's the 2026 Emmy ballot for Best Original Music and Lyrics. I said Best Original Music and Lyrics. I didn't say anything about comedy, did I? No. I said Best Original Music and Lyrics. One of the people on the ballot for Best Original Music and Lyrics is Nikki Glaser. Yeah. It's Nikki Glaser's song Good Girl from her Hulu stand-up special. And boy, we know she likes Taylor Swift, but boy, she did a bad Taylor Swift impression here. I'm going to torture you and make you listen to it. Did you share the show? You didn't share the show. Richard shared the show. Richard, thank you for sharing the show. I saw you share the show. Richard, hit 30-second skip like 4 times, okay? Because I don't want to subject you to this. But everybody else, you didn't share the show, and I'm going to punish you. You now have to listen to Nikki Glaser sing Good Girl.
I read a comment. I let a strange man poison my day. It's not uncommon. It's getting old, looking my age. They'll praise you for your youthful glow and tiny waistline. She's such a natural. But use a filter and they'll call you a lying whore. Be a good girl.
Oh my goodness. We're going to play some commercials because I have to go beat my head against a brick wall to give myself brain damage, so I don't remember that the song even exists. Here's a shocker. The guy that hosts Daily Comedy News actually watched some comedy specials the other night between Knicks games. It was Thursday night, and I was like, oh yeah, I should probably watch some of these. This was not the order I watched them in, but I put on Josh Johnson's Symphony on HBO, and I know I'm supposed to like it, and I like Josh Johnson. He comes out, and the first couple jokes are great, and he looks great, and the whole thing is great, and then a couple, 15 minutes in, I'm like, I'm not really enjoying this. I'm just kind of bored, so I bailed on it. That was actually the third special I watched. The second special I watched was Patton Oswalt, and aside from the Star Trek thing, which is not a bit, I really feel that way, but generally, I like Patton Oswalt's comedy a lot. Like that George Lucas bit that I played the other day. That's a great bit. I love it. Patton's comedy just really is in my wheelhouse, but this one, I don't know. I was sitting there, and I'm like, this isn't registering at all, and I bailed. The other thing I didn't like, it's one of those specials, this is the new thing that I talked to Pete Holmes about a while back, where we're just suddenly in the middle of a set. There's no more like, hey, welcome to the stage, Patton Oswalt, hey, how's everybody in Cleveland doing? Yeah, and then you go into it. This was one of those newfangled things where just boom, Patton's on stage mid-joke. I don't like that. I live on Old Man Mountain. My neighbor's Pete Holmes, apparently. The best of the three, best with a lowercase b, was Tony Hinchcliffe on Netflix, which is nothing but empty calories. There's barely any jokes. The crowd looks like they want to murder him. If you've seen this special, there's this one guy that he's trying to engage with. The guy looks like he might just suddenly... I don't even want to say it. The guy does not look like a happy person. Now, a couple days later, I'm wondering, is the guy a plant to set up the whole thing? Maybe? Because the guy just doesn't look like he's having a good time at Tony Hinchcliffe's show. Tony's just doing like okay crowd work, and the crowd work's not scoring, and there's not too many jokes, and I've got a comment from another comedian that I'll share with you in a minute. So it's weird. I don't even know why it exists, I guess, other than they really wanted to kill Tony, and as part of that package, they were like, yeah, we'll do a Tony Hinchcliffe comedy special, and Tony doesn't have any material? Is that what's happening here? The people on Threads are irate that this special with a lowercase s, and it's not an hour either. What should we call it? Show. Tony Hinchcliffe recording. This Tony Hinchcliffe recording. The people on Threads are irate that it even exists, and I get it. That said, of the things I watched, this was the one that kept my attention, and, I was playing on my phone. I wasn't studying it, but I enjoyed it. I mean, is it okay that I enjoyed it? Apparently not, according to comedian Ryan Davis, who posted on social media. Tony Hinchcliffe is so important to comedy in America. 20 years from now, people will swear that our country wasn't the way it is today and will try to change history. They're going to try to burn the evidence. But Tony's recorded sets and sold-out arena shows will stand as proof of things that millions of Americans were cheering for, the type of bigotry disguised as comedy that had people cheering and clapping instead of laughing. If you need a special to watch today, Brian Simpson live from the mothership out on the 800-pound gorilla. Late Nighter looked at the late night ratings. Now Stephen Colbert is gone, and Jimmy Kimmel's lead-in was the New York Knicks twice last week. Wednesday's post-game broadcast got 3.98 million total viewers for Kimmel, making it the show's second highest rated episode of the season. Friday's post-game 2, after that big comeback, drew 3.38 million viewers. The 18 to 49 numbers are just shocking for all these things. Friday got 846,000 in that demo. Wednesday, 751,000 in the demo. Meanwhile, Jimmy Fallon, who had no basketball lead-in, fell back to 1.37 million total viewers. And in the 18 to 49s, 164,000 adults, which in the scheme of things is not that much more than this podcast. That's terrifying. How about Byron Allen, John? Is everybody watching Byron Allen? Look, everybody needs to calm down with the Byron Allen. Byron knows the deal. CBS knows the deal. Nobody thinks anyone's going to watch this. All anyone is saying is that Byron Allen has figured out a way to buy the time from CBS and sell enough commercials that Byron Allen makes money on it. CBS gets a guaranteed dollar amount. They don't have to stress, and Byron's making money on it. Whether or not you watch, nobody cares. The 11:35 half hour averaged 786,000 total viewers and 80,000 adults, 18 to 49. 12:05 got 520,000 viewers and 57,000 adults. John, did you just say the number 57,000? I did, which is why I tripped over it. 57,000? Yikes. That is a small number. But again, as I just said, nobody cares. Because let's think about it. Whatever Jimmy Fallon's being paid is getting 1.37 million total viewers. And then CBS, not spending any money getting paid to air Byron Allen's thing, is getting 786,000 total viewers, which is, about half, a little more than half. Now, Fallon brings other things to the network, and it's The Tonight Show, and, I think there's value to having something like The Tonight Show and a Jimmy Fallon hosting it. But at some point, the accountants are going to look at these things and be like, yeah, CBS isn't that crazy. At 12:35, CBS's Funny You Should Ask. That's Byron Allen's other show. That averaged 440,000 total viewers and 53,000 adults 18 to 49. That compares to Seth Meyers, who has 897,000 total viewers and 103 adults. So again, we can have Seth Meyers and try really hard, or we can not try at all and do half the number. You got to look at that at some point. Speaking of late night, the folks at Late Nighter stayed up to watch James Corden. He's hosting whatever that's called, Show On After Soccer with James Corden. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, you got it, John. They watched episode 1. Late Nighter said for a first effort, the new Corden effort had good energy and shaggy charm, which is a fair characterization of its host. The show made its strongest case as a loose live hang. It was laid back enough that the beers consumed by the show's roundtable during the hour looked more natural than affected. Corden did no monologue. The show was not joke-centric, but some jokes seeped in. Corden played a clip from the opening game that showed the Mexican goalkeeper caressing and kissing a soccer ball. Corden joked, "My wife hasn't held me like that in 12 years. FIFA World Cup on Fox After Hours with James Corden. That's the title. Not what I said. What did I say? It was Show On After Soccer with James Corden, which might actually be a better title. We'll have to look back at this. Friday night, the guest was Sebastian Maniscalco after the Team USA game. Do you think Sebastian came on and made a stupid face? Of course he did. And that's your comedy news for today. For having nothing, this was pretty good and way longer than it had any business being. Anyway, so you're going to share the show, or I'm going to keep playing Nikki Glaser singing. You don't want that, right? Okay. We understand. We're at the point where I'm threatening you now. You're going to share the show. Richard, you're excused. I saw you did it. Thank you, Richard. Everybody else, share the show, or I'm going to play Nikki Glaser singing.
Be a good girl.
Don't think I won't. I played the Joe Coy bit for like 3 years, right? You know I will play Nikki Glaser singing. So share the show, or else. You've been warned. Follow the show on Spotify. Turn comments on. I know, John, you turned the comments on. You guys are going to turn notifications on so you never miss a show. That's what you're doing there on Spotify. All right. See you tomorrow.
As you know, we came on after a football doubleheader. The big difference between the Golden Globes and the NFL, on the Golden Globes, we have fewer camera shots of Taylor Swift. I swear. There's just more to go to here.